And we welcome you to Lucas Oil Stadium, which opened back in 2008 here in the Circle City of Indianapolis, Indiana. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Seattle Seahawks and the Indianapolis Colts. The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Now they'll run it on the toss. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. And they'll run it here. And he's going to take this one up only to about the 44-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
To throw on 2nd down, Nicholson being chased out left. Give the Colts 13 yards and a first down.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 43. Operating from the gun, Nicholson escaping the pressure right. Throwing right, and that's complete. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Nicholson, and incomplete.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
The line to gain is the 33 on 3rd down. From the gun, Nicholson. This is intercepted. He's picked off at his own 47. Past the 20. 10. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. It was 3rd down. Defensively, they were just hoping to make a play and get off the field, get their offense on. Instead, they did one better. Pick it off, take it into the end zone.
Well, they did what you said. They got off the field.
They're going to have to come right back on.
They're going to come right back on, but happily, right? They put the ball in the end zone. That's the way you start a game. That's the way you set the tone.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay. Yeah. I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something?
And right away, he lost the football. And the offense will cover this one up, but they'll be pushed back inside their own 10.
And a little bit of good fortune there. He wasn't able to get it back, but he did have a teammate on the spot able to retain possession for them.
Now they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Brissett sets to throw it. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again. Just like last week, each game is its own entity, treated as such.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Nicholson throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. It's a gain of 11, but they're still well short. It's 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at the 34. Throwing is Wilson. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the tuck rule that they can fall back on anymore.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. Play action. Now Wilson. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. But I believe a Seahawk was able to get a handle on this, so this will remain Seattle ball. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but if the other team doesn't get it, that's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
3rd and long. It's Wilson. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
They'll look to set up his blockers. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes
he rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. After the interception, here's Wilson. He sets to fire deep. So they took a shot on 1st down, but couldn't connect.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Let's go, 14.
Wilson to throw on 3rd down. Flushed out right. He may try and run for this. Oh, twisting away. Oh, he sheds himself free. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. The rushing numbers for Wilson, maybe down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the first down. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
14, got it. 18.
Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down. Looking left side, and it's complete. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. An inaugural trip to the red zone here for the Seahawks. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 15. Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And not much on the return there. He'll take it only up to the 9-yard line.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Back to throw. Nicholson. Eluding the under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Back with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Colts in possession of the football to begin quarter number 2. But they face a 2nd and long to start things out. A first throw for the backup Trubisky. On the move to his left. Now he'll throw deep left side. It's caught inside the 25. And he's taken down inside the red zone past the Seattle 15. A huge play that time for the Colts. 65 yards. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Colts are an extra point away from tying up this football game. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And out now come the Seahawks. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division, looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number one goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number two goal is win your division. Number three goal is...
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call. So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. And they'll go on the ground. They're able to push forward for about 4 down to the 37. I think you mentioned in the opening drive that these guys needed to establish the run, protect the young QB. I actually wrote that down, believe it or not. So how would you assess things so far?
I'm kind of touched that you actually wrote something like that down. I appreciate that, partner. But I do think they've been able to do that. Maybe not as effectively as they've wanted to, but I think we'll see more of as this game goes along because they want to continue to take care of that young QB.
Here we go now. 3, 19.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a first. Looking to throw. Nicholson forced out to his left. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Indianapolis moving the chains there on a gain of 12.
And there was absolutely zero pressure on the quarterback on that play. 3rd down, and he has all the time in the world to eventually find an open receiver for a first down pickup.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. Back to throw. Nicholson buying time to his left. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Brian Switzer, the intended target. That'll bring up 2nd down. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it is going to be 15 yards.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. And they'll try the ground game here with a running back. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Brissett sliding out of the pocket. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the all-pro free safety, Earl Thomas. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Now Wilson back into his end zone. And the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And he's able to get this across the 10 before being taken down. They needed some breathing room. He gave it to him. 11 yards and a first down.
Touch 50, touch 50. Got it.
Now a play fake here on first down. He lets it fly for Lockett. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And all the way down to the 39. A big play that time for the Seahawks. 48 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. They'll throw on 1st down with Wilson. And he finds a man with a crossing route. A gain of 6 there on 1st. Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. To play in a tightly contested first half. We'll come back to Indianapolis right after this. To throw again is Wilson. And he will find his man on the outside. 15 yards through the air and a 1st down. Well, this is how you shape the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
Now Wilson. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Tyler Lockett, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Seahawks are able to strike for 6. That's why you've got your star out there. Throw the ball to him. They did.
That's simply saying we don't care what coverage you put out there. He's so good. We're going there with the football anyway, and there's not a thing you can do about it.
Inside the red zone, they go to him. He gets it done. That's fielded in the end zone. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And 2 interceptions thrown here in this first half. You hear it, no matter the sport, they say the great athletes, they can kind of have a short-term memory, but that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but I played with a guy who threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter of a really big game we were playing.
Johnny Unitas?
And no, not.
He's got a man complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. And that one results in 35 yards. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Nicholson. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
To throw on 2nd down, Nicholson. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Barkevius Mingo. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. The Colts on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 15. Operating from the gun, Nicholson. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. So that is 3 interceptions now in this first half. And you hate to ask the question, but let's be honest. We're thinking about it. Do you need to go in a different direction next series?
Potentially. We know that he's probably not going to be on the Pro Bowl ballot. That's not really his stature here. But he has been their starting quarterback for this game.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked by Nick Kwiatkowski. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line. Now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Now they'll run it on the toss. Able to slither by. A pretty decent gain on the tough run before he's brought down at the 25. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. As it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1. Looking to throw on second down. Morrison. And incomplete here. So a little razzle-dazzle on that one, but they couldn't hook up, and it's 3rd down. He was looking for Jack Doyle that time, and it's 3rd and short.
Four down. Detroit!
Looking to throw. Nicholson, flush to his right. And that is caught. Touchdown, Indianapolis. In for the score. And the Colts are an extra point away from tying up this football game. And a little time left on the clock, so on the other side, they're thinking, gosh, we'd like to get that lead right back.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Here I am, go ahead and tapping out the first half.
Well,
there's still time. They've got to make a decision about what they want to do on the kickoff, or they want to let their return guy touch it.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10. On 1st down, Wilson. He's going to let this one go deep. It's caught inside the 25. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
So they grabbed the lead just before half with a clock reading 0-0-0.
How about snatching things right at the end and grabbing a little bit of control? What a great way to go into the locker room. It's similar to a boxer flurrying in the last 30 seconds of a round and stealing the round. Great job.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the 3rd quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
Let's see if they do just that.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading the play and throwing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. And that one goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Looking downfield, and that's caught right side. He's got his man. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Making a hat trick for Russell Wilson. 3 touchdown passes now. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. but I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, second half, no matter what. Those first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
Here's the Colts now as they get ready for their first possession on offense of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Back to the air on 2nd down. Nicholson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. He has just been a load for opposing offenses to account for. Now 8 interceptions on the year.
I love that number because I always think of center field. You know, when I hear 8, because that's the position you write in the scorecard in baseball. And what do good center fielders do? Take away all the alleys, right? They range deep and make a whole lot of great catches.
Now Wilson on first down. Throwing left side, it's complete. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. 23 yards on the play. From the shotgun, Wilson. And a dump off here to Robinson. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 3 yards is the gain that time, 2nd and goal.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. He'll get it up the middle. And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. Call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal.
I don't know about you, Brandon, but I often think to myself, in these situations, I want a back who can create his own space, who can break tackles, and in a sense, become his own blocker. We don't have that guy in the game right now.
He gets away from one. So they decline it as that will bring up 4th.
And I know that yardage and field position are keys to any game played, but you got to consider downs when you're talking about penalties, and they wisely did not take that one and made it 4th down.
A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that that happens because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
That'll be taken in the end zone. Ooh, with a juke. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25. At the 24-yard line. And the Colts coming out now. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete. From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. To throw again. Nicholson. Open man is Switzer, complete. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Detroit! Detroit! Gun!
To throw on 3rd down. Nicholson. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Good yardage there for the Colts. 18 and a 1st down. This quarterback now 8 of 15 through the air, but it's 1st and 10 here. Now a first carry for Donnell Pumphrey. And he's up across midfield and down into Seattle territory. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down. That fits the bill.
All right, now, look at 56.
To throw on 2nd down. Nicholson. Over the middle, it's complete. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. That, I believe, will put him over 100 yards receiving for the game. Yes, it will. And he's got a 1st down to boot. This quarterback now 5 straight completions here in this 2nd half. 1st and 10. From the gun, Nicholson. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go.
All right, now, look at 56. Look at...
Operating from the gun, Nicholson. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Seahawks have recovered. And he's going to have just a couple here with a marker on the field as well. Of course, they had the option, and they choose to not take the penalty.
They like the results of the play that they just ran, and they'd like to let them stand.
So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10.
Tempo, baby, let's go. Let's go to work. Come on. 58, boys. 58.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. And incomplete as he was knocked as he threw it. And it took the ball off course.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
find it. 58, right over there. Yeah. Right, 58, right there. Got it. Gun.
Wilson now going to throw again. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Russell Wilson now with 4 touchdown passes on the afternoon. And the fumble recovery leads to 6 points for the Seahawks. Myers connects on the PAT. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though,
Yeah.
because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. They'll run here with Pumphrey. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Indianapolis moving the chains there on a gain of 12.
Whether it's what we call an even front or an odd front, and an odd front's real easy to figure out. If that guy is lined up over the nose of the center, typically that's an odd front defense. Odd number of people, meaning 3-4 versus the 4-3, which is an even front. You've got to control those guys in the middle. Whether it's the nose or the 2 defensive tackles in a 4-man front, if those guys can't get moved, you cannot run the ball in the middle of the field. And in that play, they were able to actually take care of business.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Back now here on EA Sports. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. Now they'll throw it with Trubisky. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Off the bootleg. Nicholson. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield. Complete. He's got this to the 30 before being taken down. A gain of 26 on the 3rd down conversion.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
They'll run it now with Pumphrey. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. Rolling to his left. Now he's going to throw deep. And now here is another interception. Picked off by the all-pro free safety, Earl Thomas. And he's going to return it to the 21-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
And they'll run it here. Oh, nice spin.
Oh, that brought back bad memories.
And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Well, I'd say that run's pretty emblematic of what we've seen all day long. No matter what they've done on offense, this offensive line has controlled the line of scrimmage, given them time to throw it, run it, do whatever they wanted. That's why there are points up on the board. And right now, the psyche of the offense, we're in control, and we can do whatever we feel like doing out here on the field.
And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, second down. Fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
Now a handoff looking right. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. They call that a loss of 6 yards. And it's third down now.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
To throw is Wilson. Throwing on third and long. Going right side here, and that's complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that, because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
So following the holding call, what can they do here on third and long? From the gun, it's Wilson. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Wilson now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Here's Wilson to throw. He lets it fly for Lockett. This is caught. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Tyler Lockett, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Seahawks are running away with this one. And he puts it through. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. Gets past one man. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive.
Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away, because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Nicholson, he's going to wind up and air it out. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a 4th down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man. And you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. The Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. And on the ground they go with the running back. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Now they try the right side here. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. And the Seahawks on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. And the Seahawks on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Now Wilson steps away to his left. Now he's going to let it go deep left side. And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up 4th down.
Finally, a good play there defensively on the deep ball. The secondary has had its struggles this entire game. Offensively, they've had their way with them.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. Now the Colts offense gets ready to head back on the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
All right, now look at 56.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Nicholson. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here. After 1st and 2nd down went backwards, it's 3rd and very long. From the gun, Nicholson. And my goodness, another interception. Trey Flowers picks it, and his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. What a nightmarish game he's having now. 6 interceptions that he has thrown.
Absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? Hard to believe we're watching this and have seen it, but it just tells you about the game of football. It giveth and it taketh away.
Yeah, the guys, though, that have thrown 6 interceptions in a game, the likes of Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, I think Joe Namath, he did it 3 times. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Seahawks, their playoff chances take an uptick as they move to 7-4. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Meanwhile, for the Colts, they've fallen out of things now as they sink to 3-8. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Foxborough to face off against the New England Patriots. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.